Over the next few minutes, we're going to walk through the exact pieces that have blocked so many agencies from being able to hit their first million, 2 million, $3+ million a year in revenue. And I want to show you what's possible if you put these exact processes in place. And I want to key into the exact pain points that I also dealt with when I was building my own marketing agency prior to being able to sell it. So that way, hopefully, you don't have the same problems. And if you do have these things, I want to give you a pathway for how you can solve them yourself. Who am I? Well, of course, you probably already heard this. My name's Cole. I own Brain Gears. We're a team that focuses on helping agencies scale and grow their business. We're not a lead gen. We focus on ops because that's really the thing that matters more. Once you've gotten leads, fantastic. But that doesn't matter if you get leads, if your sales process sucks, if your onboarding sucks, if your delivery sucks, if your ability to retain and scale your business is inefficient, you're going to be stuck at sub $1 million a year forever, and you're never going to be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And that's what we help solve by putting the right processes in place for your business, unique to what you do, how you do it, and why. We've got our proven systems. They do work. They crush. We use it for ourselves and many others, but disregarding that, here's what really matters. It's like, look, I've been in the shoes. I'm doing it today. I've done it before. I've been on the other side, and I can show you how I've done it myself. So here's me. Look, I'm a real person. I'm not AI. I feel like that is important nowadays as the AI overlords are taking everything over. My previous agency was AdLabs Marketing. We were a paid advertising agency specializing in coaching, consulting, e-commerce brands. Really the niche that I preferred the best was like influencers who had a couple 100,000 followers that had a digital physical product component we could hybridize between their business. So that way we could run ads to sell a physical product and upsell coaching and consulting or courses and material, or the inverse, where we could sell courses and material and then upsell physical products to grow their business. It's super fun. We've seen some really good results over that time. We've had top results within Clutch and many other platforms, but also we've just made people a ton of money. It was a lot of fun. But frankly, as good as these results were, I just wasn't as happy, especially over the first few years of growing the business, because I was making decent money. We were making good money. We were, $500,000, almost $1 million a year. But the issue is that we were spending so much time doing the delivery that I couldn't focus on sales, or I was focusing so much on sales, I couldn't do delivery, and too much was being done by myself and one other person. And I had a small team, but I felt like I was just like sporadically throwing them things to do rather than giving them dedicated roles because I didn't have enough trust and confidence in them to really take it over at the time. But also, I just didn't have defined processes in place that was going to allow us to hit that level to give people even better results and make my team crush it. And so I sort of at one point was just sort of overly exhausted with what we were doing and had my own sort of come to Jesus moment on a vacation that I was on with my partner at the time. Unfortunately, this stuff made me lose my partner, but that's another story for another day. Is I identified that realistically, if I'm going to make this business grow, I need to start putting some processes in place in all the areas that I suck at, and then trying to identify quality talent that I can bring on, that I can put them through a process that gives them the highest likelihood of achievement. And what I mean by that is I took all the things that I did do and broke them out in as clear of detail as possible when it came to onboarding, when it came to sales, when it came to delivery, when it came to how I'm building campaigns and running the ads and setting up the tracking and communicating with the clients and what my cadences are and what my tonal structures are that work well for me, but also as a business, how do I want my team and myself to communicate broadly, right? And so I started going through putting all of these processes in place, and I really worked backwards. I worked on the delivery side because it was the thing I was spending majority of my time on. Like I wasn't really growing the business as much as I wanted. I was really stagnant. I kept hitting these different walls at like 500K, 600, 800K, and then $1 million a year. I'm just sort of stuck. And so I tried to solve it by fixing the delivery, then fixing onboarding, then trying to fix sales. And depending on where you're at, that might be the pathway to go. But I found that if I can work on improving delivery, maybe we take it from it being like 10% automated to 50 to 60% automated. That alone, first off, frees up time, improves the efficiency of the team, and gives them the ability to take on maybe twice the amount of clients. So that way I can actually focus on pulling in more revenue without adding extra talent, doing anything extra really, right? More importantly, once that's moving a little bit better, I don't expect it to be perfect at $1 million a year. Having a more optimized onboarding. The onboarding experience undoubtedly was one of the single biggest levers that we had put in that once we had improved our sales and our delivery, our onboarding experience was what set people up for success because it meant that our average customer went from staying with us for like 4 months to 8, 9, 10, multiple years. We've had a handful of clients like, stay with us for the whole time, like 5, 6 years in the business. And they were paying us a ton of money, but they were cool with it because they were just so happy with stuff, right? So there's a whole retention conversation, but more importantly, when we improved onboarding, we really improved touch points. And that was really one of the things that unlocked for me that I'll dive into deeper for the final portion in a minute is having clarity around touch points, what we're doing, when we're doing it, how we're doing it, what's expected of them, what is their homework, when do I expect it done by, and why is that the parameter or the piece that's preventing us from helping them get the good results, right? Like the type of results that we had seen in this business. And so I have found that effectively, if I want to grow my business, I really need to have tons of touch points in the organization. And the easiest way I was able to solve this is just by starting and just creating like a bunch of like Notion tasks. I think I was using a ClickUp at the time for that for Ad Labs. Is I was using like ClickUp and I was just creating a bunch of tasks when everything was needed to be onboarded. And so we didn't have AI at the time, but we were able to have like Python scripts that we could write. But we would go through and we would create a task in ClickUp, use the API, write a Python script. So then the Python script would be written and then it would like auto send an email or it would auto notify us to send a text message. Certain things at the time still had to be manual. And we would just start doing that. And that alone made the customers feel heard, feel valued, feel attended to, and drive them forward in a way that they had like never seen before. The amount of activity we were seeing out of our customers was substantially higher once we started putting that process in place. So once I got past that, I then identified really that we're at this point where if the onboarding and delivery is a little better than what it was, I can now focus on sales. And sales effectively became one of the biggest problems when it came to growing the business recursively, like getting past 500,000, 800 million bucks a year. And why is that? Well, of course, the delivery sucks because if your delivery mechanism takes too much time, you can't handle more clients. But once you've solved that and you've streamlined it, you effectively hit this situation where you're getting a few leads a month on the front end because maybe you're running ads, you're doing outreach, you've got referrals, you're doing trade shows. Well, you're doing stuff that's getting you leads, right? So typically when you're at that level, 500,000, 800, $1 million bucks a year, you really don't effectively have a leads problem. Like you're not getting enough leads. What you really have is you have a problem of it leaking. And so I think one of the easiest levers for most people to kick off is disregarding where they are with delivery efficiency, onboarding efficiency, is improving their sales process. This is especially important if you've already are established and you're trying to improve the speed of your business in terms of growth. Like if you want to go from 2 to 3, 4 to $1 million bucks a year to doubling that, sales side is where you're going to do it. And again, it's not so much that you have to double the amount of calls that you're booking. It's more that you need to improve how you're handling these calls. So again, you have this high level flow, right? That we'll go over is you got leads, they book a call with you, they show or they don't, things go good or they need ongoing follow-up. And then you create a proposal and then hopefully you close them. If you're sub $1 million bucks a year, or even maybe a couple million, because I was technically the key sales rep up until like 1.5 million a year. and then I brought on like 2 other people, is because I just preferred to be in sales. Like I just like sales. So the owner typically is the bottleneck of all of this, right? And so you've got a lead that comes in, something needs to happen, whether it's nurturing, follow-up, engagement, retention. There's a bunch of different things. You should know if you're running an agency, you should know the things that should be done. And then once you book a call, often because it's the owner, they're distracted on a bunch of different things. They are like not sending them a message. They're not sending them a text. They're not sending them a LinkedIn request. They're not sending an email. They're not doing a phone call. And like, hey, John, how's it going? Saw you booked a call with me. Just wanted to follow up, see what's up. Do you have any questions? So excited to talk, right? Blah, blah, blah. Then you don't do anything here. And what happens is tons of people don't show. So on average, I mean, if you're not great, you're probably looking at 50% no-show rates just between someone booking and then just never showing up. So easy win there. We'll get to that in a minute. But then of the people who showed, you have a process where you don't really have a clear step of what needs to occur next. In it, the only place that it's clear is if they said yes. But as soon as they don't say yes, you don't have a clear process for handling it. It's just like the lead just goes dead. So that is a clean and clear area to start fixing. Like if you don't have a place to handle when someone says no or not interested or needs like ongoing nurturing or needs longer follow-up, you're missing out on so much downstream revenue because you're trying to get the sale too quickly. And so you need to have something regardless of the action that this person has with you in that call. If it's good, great. You create the proposal, they sign, you send the invoice, they pay, they go into your onboarding flow, you deliver them, they're a happy client, happy ever after. But what happens if you do the call, they show interest, you create the proposal, and you just send it, and then you just wait? I guarantee you, most of you, if you're sub $1 million a year, are dealing with this exact thing. You're just sending and waiting, and you're waiting because you're like, oh, I don't want to seem desperate. I don't want to over communicate. I don't want to do too much. Most people are going to make a decision soon, either that day in that call or within 24, 48 hours. So you should be doing stuff to validate that they're making the right decision to move forward with you, show proof, show credibility, show validation that they're just doing the right thing, and that you should be reaffirming the decision that you want them to have, and which is sign, pay, move forward, let's succeed together, right? So once it goes forward, most people, well, let me clarify this. If you don't close the deal, and so if it's a proposal, it just goes dead, like it's officially outside of that like close window, most aren't doing anything. You just go, well, it's a dead deal. And then you sit there and you look at your CRM, if you have it, your Google Sheets probably, and then you're like, man, I wish I closed that deal 6 months ago. What you should have done is you should have followed up with them 6 months ago or 6 months after and been like, hey, John, how's it going? I heard you probably went with someone else. Is that going okay? Guess what? 9 times out of 10, the person they're going with, terrible. Did they give them the results? No. Are they satisfied with what's happening? Also no. Could you probably requote them and close them? Pretty damn likely, especially if they reply to your email, your LinkedIn, your SMS, and your phone call. Do all of them, send them a cake, send them a postcard, go find their house. Do something. You gotta do some follow-up. So here's what I find is typically blocking you is if you're at this level and you're trying to grow and you're focusing on sales officially at this point and you're wondering why you're just not getting the results. The issue is you're the only follow-up. Like you are the follow-up engine. You're overly manual. You send everything by hand. Your proposals are sent and never tracked. Your you're living inside of spreadsheets. I know of at least 6 agencies. Guess what? They make millions of dollars a year in their whole business inside of spreadsheets. They do like 60% of their business manually. And if they just automated half of the stuff they do manual, they probably could double their business because they have so much more capacity. But guess what? It doesn't matter because they improved their sales motion so well. So this is like a pro and a con. Like, you can live with a fucked up system as long as you've got something, but you got a shadow sheet inside the CRM. Like, you have a CRM, you don't use it. You've got just a place where you dump data. You're not really doing anything. You don't have any clear process where when the deal goes dark, you just ignore it. And then the same thing. Look, if you have a dead deal and you don't rework that thing every few months, you're missing out so much. So much. To me, all of this is just inevitably a systems problem. If you can solve the systematic issues, you're going to get better results. So here's how I would try to approach it if I was in your shoes again. Look, I like to call this, like, here's my fancy name, the Revenue OS agency sales system. And what is it? It is effectively a multi-touch system that does everything from first touch point to final touch point in the sales process. So that way, as soon as someone shows any interest with you, they receive a response from you in minutes, especially if they book a call. It's not just an automated message. It is a personal, human touch feeling message done in minutes from the person they're going to talk to. As soon as they have showed or about to show to a meeting, or they've shown interest, there's another set of touch points. And then whether they showed up or not, there's something that's going to happen. As soon as something is positive or negative or clarity around what's going to happen, there's a clear next step and it's automated. Guess what? We're doing it in minutes. It is streamlined. It doesn't take 40 minutes or an hour or days to do a next step after a call. It should happen almost instantaneously. If there's any positive indicators, we automatically create a proposal and we send it to them. And then if they show interest and they sign that proposal, an invoice is auto sent, or they pay through the proposal itself for the first payment. As soon as that's done and cash has been collected, you're moving them forward. You're not sitting here where nothing goes dark. You're automating outreach, you're automating the follow-up, you're automating the onboarding touch points. And then if they go dead on you for some reason, because at some point, some leads are going to not move forward regardless, you're going to get back in front of them recursively without having to think about it. So the dead deals get reworked every single quarter, allowing you to just generate more revenue for your business. Typically, if you've been in the space for a couple of years, you easily have $100,000 worth of revenue sitting in your dead pipeline that you could just be working, but instead you're not. So prove me wrong, try it, focus on it for a quarter. And if you don't make an extra 10, 20, 30, 50K, I'll be surprised. Just saying. If that alone, it's just in the quarter. If you just do that every quarter, you could easily hit another 100, 200, 300K. I've seen this make an extra $1 million a year for a business. I know it can do just the 100K for yourself. So here's how I would probably look at this. So let's just say you run $1.5 million agency, you get 15 calls a month. Here's what happens. Half of them show. So 7, 8 actually move forward. You have a 20% close rate. Let's just say you're okay-ish at selling. That's 1.5-ish customers. If your average customer pays you $24,000 over the lifetime of that customer, you have okay growth rate. Really, this is just barely above what your churn is likely at. What likely is going to improve this is going to be improving your show rate and improving your close rate without having to worry about this. If you can just move this up to 10 calls, 11 calls, even if your close rate doesn't change, you've basically doubled your business on the back end. And even better, if you can improve your show rate and then improve your close rate to 10 or to 30%, 35%, 40%, bro, you're cooking. You're going to be on path to make $2 million a year, $2.5 million a year without doing anything different with leads. You just keep the same 15 calls a month, 20 calls a month, and you're making almost $2 million a year. If your agency is stuck and you feel like you just can't scale to the level that you want, and you're trying to make your first $1 million, $2 or $3 million a year, and you want to achieve these results because you know it's possible, I want to show you the pathway towards success. As you see, there is a clear roadmap that can be put in place and is probably a little unique to your business because of what you do, how you do it, and why. And I want to help you put that in place so that way you've got a clean pathway towards achieving the revenue that you know you can get. So if you want to do that and you're serious and committed to your growth, grab the link down below. In there, you'll have an opportunity to book a call. And if you are able to fill into one of the slots that we've got, I only take on a few each month. You and I will have the opportunity to build out a roadmap to create a direct path line or direct pathway for you to scale your business. Whether you do it yourself or we help you do it together, doesn't matter. I just want to show you what's possible if you put the right tools, systems, and processes in place. If you're serious, click the link down below. Looking forward to seeing you on the other side.